Over the last few years, it's been hard to watch ESPN FS1 because they love clickbait. They love to get you riled up and pissed off. The Jordan LeBron takes, he's playing versus all these pipe fitters and firefighters, and LeBron's this, LeBron's that. They try to get the clickbait. They say that certain players are better than others. Brady's not the GOAT. Montana's a GOAT, or Brady's a GOAT. It goes back and forth. And there's this issue of supremacy as far as who's the best and who's the greatest of all time. And they love to just get clickbait, and they'll say the most ridiculous takes to get you to continue to watch or to continue to comment and watch their stuff. Now, I'm making this video to talk about two players and what they went through when they got their job initially. I'm not going to talk too much about what they did after, but I'm going to give you the similar qualifications of one Jeff Saturday and Antonio Pearce, who's behind me right there, former linebacker, great for the Giants and other teams. Now, I'm going to get into what he said. I'm going to get into what they said about Jeff Saturday. Now, keep in mind, again, Antonio Pearce had the more fruitful end to the season than Jeff Saturday did. Jeff Saturday got that first win, ironically, against the Raiders last year, and then went on to lose the rest of his games. Antonio Pearce brought the Raiders to new heights, got them jacked up, and moved forward and got the job in the offseason, or as soon as the season ended, he was able to get that job, and congratulations to him. I think he earned it. And it should be the best coach, best player, best general manager for each position. It should not come down to who you have sex with, what color your skin is, nothing like that. It should be best person for that set position. However, in this world, we cannot look at that. And I'm not a minority, but the thing is, you had the Rooney Rule in place to put other minorities in favor of white people or this and that to have an opportunity for a job. Yet when you can skip that at certain times. The NFL has been pushing other kind of SJW stuff in your face and racism. The NFL can't end racism even if you put it all over their helmets, which they did. The reason why I'm bringing this stuff up is that stuff needs to be left out. The NFL is the NFL. We watch because it takes us away from reality and real life, and we love the players. If we didn't, 70% of the football universe and players are African American, and there's no hate there. If you didn't watch, then maybe you're a hater or you just don't like football. But that is the most watched sport in America, over soccer even. So the reason why I'm bringing all this up is I have to lay the foundation first. We have it's a black-white issue when it shouldn't be. And the reason why I'm making this video is that I want to show the fact that there was a huge hypocrisy. Nobody came after Antonio Pearce like they did Jeff Saturday. They made this whole thing up like it was a black-white thing when it had nothing to do with it. If you think about it, Antonio Pearce was a favorite of the GM that was previous to the Raiders and Daniel's organization. Then the interim general manager liked him as well. The players liked him as well. You had the owner, Mark Davis, who liked him with his weird haircut. He liked him. So why not put him in the job as an interim? And if he could do good things, and by the end of the year, you give him the shot at the job, right? Well, the same thing happened with the Indianapolis Colts. Jeff Saturday was a 4-year consultant to the Colts. He knew the organization inside and out, was offered a coordinator job 4 times for that specific reason. As an offensive lineman, he played a 6-time Pro Bowl seasons in Indianapolis, including winning a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. Good friends with him. He's good friends with the owner, Irsay. Say what you want. Both Irsay and Mark Davis are whack owners, but they have their favorites. They have the people that have worked with them and been loyal to them. So he knew Jeff Saturday. Now, did Antonio Pearce get the most out of his talented team that he coached down the rest of the season? Yes. Did Jeff Saturday get the most out of him? No, but he was able to coach. He'd been on the sidelines. He has more experience than most of these ESPN assholes or FS1 assholes that just spew shit and make it, throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. So let's dive in real quick. I'm going to show you a few clips. We're gonna diagnose and see what they say right here. We're going to start with Big Ears behind me here for FS1, I believe it was, or Rich Eisen show. He's filling in, and this is what he has to say. Now, mind you, this is the morning after Antonio Pearce gets hired. But before I play the clip, keep in mind that Jeff Saturday's resume, I told you about the 4 years consulting. He had 3 years as a high school coach at a Christian school in Georgia. That's not much. Look at Antonio Pearce, 3 years coaching at Long Beach Poly. That's not much. He had 1 year of coaching or 2 years of coaching with Arizona State University, and then he had 1 year of experience as a linebackers coach with the Raiders, and then the half year in 2023 before he actually got the job. So keep in mind, some of these coaches are going to say, hey, there's coordinators out there. There's Aaron Glenn. There's former coaches that have had years upon experience who've been passed up. And a lot of them will mention in these clips black ones. There's also white coaches. But again, Jeff Saturday gets that treatment of he's compared to all these guys not getting an opportunity, not getting a job. And remember, he wasn't offered the job. He was offered the interim to finish out the season, which, again, you don't have to use the Rooney Rule technically because you could just hire whoever you want. Now, the same thing happened with the Raiders. They just threw it on AP. They didn't give it to an experienced coordinator, but it was okay for him. No complaints for him. And also, he got the job right after with no issues, not having to interview anybody else. So let's play these clips, and we'll break them down as we go.
Antonio Pearce, I like him a lot. I don't know if he has a shot to be the head coach, but like Rich Bisaccia a couple of years ago, with far more NFL coaching experience, obviously, than the former Giant linebacker, you never know. Here's what he had to say.
It's a new chapter. It's a new era. It's a new mindset. What is that mindset? It's that of the Raider pride.
Like Antonio Pearce. Loved him.
Yeah, he came out there. Antonio Pearce, fine. He gets the job. He has the right mentality, right? Again, where's the shit talk about him? All you get is this.
As a player, don't know if he's going to be a good head coach. Don't know. Got a first-time play caller as well on the offensive side of things.
First-time play caller. Keep that in mind for the next stuff that's said.
Have no idea. Although I did think, we have the other one, that this was cool.
The short story, the matter of fact is, I grew up in Compton, California. I was born a Raider. I was born with the Raiders rolling in the Coliseum in L.A. I was rolling with NWA, talking straight out of Compton, rocking Raider hats. So when the opportunity came to work with Josh and Pat Graham and Dave, I jumped on it. So that's what set me up for this. I was born this way.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's really cool.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, how old is Antonio Pearce here? Is he?
Now, see, that's the funny thing. That's cool. That's awesome. So I went to a Raider game when I was young. I saw my Seahawks at the Coliseum. Does that make me a Raider coach? You know, or I've been wearing Seahawks gear since I was 11. Does that make me a Seahawks coach? Does that get? I mean, I played high school football. So again, those are nice quotes and everything, but see how nice they are to him? Now let's check out this piece of shit show as well. Let's see what they say the day that he gets hired.
What is up, family? This is Speak. Breaking news in the NFL world. The Raiders have officially hired their head coach, Antonio Pearce.
Raiders colors on today.
You see me.
Hoodie Friday.
It is Hoodie Friday. This is huge, absolutely huge news.
So that's huge news, right? Now let's check out these douchebags over on FS1. Once again, going to the now keep in mind the love right there for Antonio Pearce, the no skepticism, the no, hey man, this is kind of crazy that they're hiring him, but or that they're going to give him a shot at interim. The first one from Andrew Siciliano. Then you had those people just like super excited. Now check out these douchebags right here, and check out going right to the race card automatically.
Wiles, no, Brew can go first. I'm just literally doing what Irsay said. Because the thing is, you literally can put money down against the Colts and Jeff Saturday. And -6.5 is not enough. So let's go Raiders this weekend.
And what moron is that? That's the same jock sniffer for LeBron James, who said go with the Raiders that night against the Colts, which the Colts won that game.
Brew, is your reaction?
Okay. There's a lot to get to. I'm sure you guys will hit this from several different angles.
Of course.
But I'm going to hit it from the racial angle, okay? Because the
Big
NFL
shocker.
does have a problem, not enough African-American coaches. There's 5 in the league, but Steve Wilkes is an interim, all right? And I know Saturday is technically an interim, but Irsay said he hopes it lasts much longer.
And they
I
hired
think
him from outside the organization.
Right, clearly they're thinking he's going to be the coach going forward.
Wrong. They did not hire him outside the organization. He was with the organization 4 years. But continue.
Here's the thing. This is the very definition of moving the goalpost. All right, when African Americans coaches or African Americans talk about that, this is what it is. They said you got to be a coordinator to get a job. Okay. Oh, but you got to be an offensive coordinator, not just a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator.
Depending on the team,
and we've seen it with, I know Joe Judge was a special teams coach for the most part. He gets a job with the Giants, fails miserably. And now you're going to a high school coach. Nothing at all against Jeff Saturday.
Oh, nothing at all. Nothing at all. What are you talking about? And besides, again, high school coach, same qualifications, Antonio Pearce. But go on.
I don't know him. I liked him on ESPN. I thought he was great. He was a very good player. Nothing at all against him. But what about merit? What about earning it? And it's not just black coaches either. It's just any NFL coach who's paying his dues.
Okay, keep that in mind. It's not just white coaches. It's not just black coaches. Any coach that has to pay his dues, right? But go on.
Hoping he can get that break. And you go and hire a guy who, guys, this is not like the NBA or Major League Baseball. I think coaching in the NFL is so, absolutely, it's so much tougher. You got to manage a staff of 15 to 20 other coaches.
So where's Antonio Pearce's experience outside of being a linebackers coach? How do you hire him that fast? And I've seen other coordinators get hired that have a year or two experience at a special position on the team as a coordinator, but that's when they've actually had an entire staff, not just a group of guys. But go on.
I mean, to think someone can step in out of high school and coach the NFL is ludicrous, and it's lunacy.
Oh, but it just happened, didn't it? Now here's Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher has lost all I lost all respect when he made this video a year ago. But go ahead, Cowher.
I went on to become an assistant coach right from playing the coach, and I was assistant coach for 7 years. Blessed to be able to go to Pittsburgh and be a head coach at the age of 34 for 15 years. I'm speaking on behalf of the coaching profession. I know for a fact that Jeff Saturday was offered an opportunity to become an assistant coach with the Indianapolis Colts multiple times in the last 4 years.
Correct.
He declined, citing that he had a TV job and wanted to spend more time with his family. I get it.
That's fair.
I get it. Coaching is about commitment and it's about sacrifice. It's not just a job. It's a lifestyle.
Now, he's correct about all that shit. But again, and AP gets the job and everyone's just glistening and super duper happy. But Jeff Saturday, again, not offered the job. If you want to have this shitty ass take at the end of the season when Irsay says, okay, Saturday's hired, which he wasn't, then maybe you have a point. But the fact that they're doing this and this guy hadn't even coached a game yet or had been given the opportunity, whether they like it or not, the owner has the last say. If you want to be pissed at somebody, be pissed at Irsay. Don't be pissed at Saturday.
That being said, Jeff Saturday has taken a position this year as a consultant for the Indianapolis Colts, and he's talked to them weekly from his home in Atlanta. Now,
which means he knows what's going on, just like AP did as linebackers coach.
I'm going to find out on Monday, in that short period of time, he's now the head coach of the new Indianapolis Colts, overseeing a staff that he chose not to choose,
Not to join.
because of a lifestyle. Jeff Saturday talked about in his first press conference the fact that he's going to use his second half as an opportunity to build his resume, to see whether or not he can coach in the future.
Why not? I mean, if he's given the opportunity, I mean, if you're given $1 million on the street, are you not going to take it? I mean, he was given an opportunity. So, I mean, why not? Anybody's given an opportunity, you take it and you see if you can run with it. This guy's just an asshole.
I say to that, what about the assistants on the staff right now? The guys that were there in training camp.
What about the assistants that were over there with the Raiders? You have plenty of guys who had far more experience than Antonio Pearce, but we won't talk about that.
The guys that were there early in the morning and late at night. The guys that have gone through the first 6 weeks in that building. Guys like Gus Bradley, Scotty Montgomery, John Fox. Don't they deserve the opportunity for
John Fox had an opportunity already.
an owner to hire a coach who's never been an assistant at the college level or the pro level, and overseeing very much a lot of candidates that are qualified for that job, as we see in Steve Wilks, an opportunity to build a resume? It's a disgrace to the coaching profession. And regardless how this thing plays out, what happened in Indianapolis is a travesty.
Now, Joy, we talked a lot.
Now, here we go. Now, these guys who were just celebrating and loving it, check out their take on our boy.
About this, so I want to get your instant reaction. Jeff Saturday, no coaching experience, hired to the Colts. What are your thoughts?
I had to double check it, actually. I thought, because you sent it on the group chat, I thought you might have got it. Right. Like, hold on, I don't see no blue.
First off, I'm a little biased. I don't like females talking sports as far as when they criticize those who have played. If you want to have a take, that's fine. If you want to talk trash to like as far as a certain play, but you've never coached either. So why do they go to her first? I have no idea.
Check. I know they're switching those things around now. We're going to have to double check our sources because this is really crazy. I love a good unqualified man hire. Woo!
Love it.
I love it. I love it. Here's why I love it. I mean, obviously I'm being sarcastic. I don't love it. This is embarrassing. And it's not really me coming at Jeff Saturday. I know a lot of people that know him.
Really? Here we go. I'm not coming at Jeff Saturday. It's an embarrassment, but
He's a nice man. Certainly a lot of great contributions to the organization. But we're talking about things bigger than a nice person getting an opportunity. An opportunity that he is completely unqualified for.
Right.
Completely unqualified.
how do you know if he's completely unqualified for? He was the center of the football team. You know how many quarterbacks get coaching jobs? You know, like Bart Starr went straight from a quarterback to a freaking coach for the Green Bay Packers. So many have done it in the past as well. Because it's like the quarterback and the center know the damn team frontwards and backwards because they're the ones watching the most footage and tape. But go on.
And I don't want to hear about the playing. Coaching is an experience that you have to have experience for.
Right.
And
That part's true. However, again, if you played the game, you have an upper hand on most that haven't. But continue.
we undermine it constantly by these hires. And what bothers me about this hire is not just that he particularly is unqualified. When you have Gus Bradley on the coaching staff with 33 years of coaching experience, 4 seasons as a head coach.
Yeah, and he was fired.
John Fox, 40 years
Fired.
of coaching experience, 16 seasons as a head coach, 20 years combined, as you said. Yeah. That's a lot of experience.
Exactly. And in a season where the Colts weren't going anywhere and tanking them on purpose, what was the fucking problem? They literally weren't trying to win.
If you were just going to make a change from Frank Reich, who I also think is a good coach, and by the way, I don't think should have been.
Yeah, Frank Reich shouldn't have been fired. What a dumbass right here. He didn't like the quarterback they drafted. He wanted the other quarterback. So he wanted C.J. Stroud. So he got fired for arguing with the owner. But let's continue.
Fired.
Right.
I think you should have waited till the end of the season. But if you're going to make this move, do it because you want to build on what you already have. You're not.
Which was nothing at the time. The Colts revamped and made the playoffs this year under a new staff and new coach. And Gardner Minshew, for the most part.
Not like getting ahead of the race for the next great head coach because the Panthers already fired Matt Rule. So what really bothers me is every time these unqualified, wildly unqualified hires happen, nobody wants to give it the attention that it deserves when we're talking about black head coaches.
Here we go. Right back to the goddamn race thing again. And it just goes back to them firing off about race and everything. Then you got this fat moron, feet lover. He comes out and says this.
Coach that has actually been in this league. I had a guy named Mike Westhoff who coached for like 40 years in the National Football League, was never given a head coaching opportunity. There's a million great coaches.
Maybe he wasn't good enough.
I look at the coaches on his staff. What message are you sending them? Like, oh, by the way, you're going to get fired. It's as simple as that. Because if you don't think somebody is more qualified to do the job as a head coach on that staff than bringing a guy in pretty much off the street with no experience, I mean, you're sadly mistaken.
I just go back and forth on this. I mean, I've got the former player and analyst hat on, and it's like part of me says, why not? Give him a chance. He'll learn as he goes. I mean, maybe they need a little shot in the arm for the Colts, and maybe he'll give him that. But then I just always go back to putting on how I be in that locker room as a player, and I was told that someone that was on ESPN commentating, doing shows during the week is now my head coach.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb. It is pretty dumb. But the owner made that decision, so the fuck, you roll with it. You're getting paid. You're part of that organization. If you don't want to give a shit about the rest of your season, well then don't play hard and get cut. If you do, play your ass off. Man up and stop being a bitch.
And the feeling that I get from that is more real, because right now, if I was there, I'd be thinking, well.
You think for a second any of those players care if it's Gus Bradley or John Fox? No, they don't. This is all shit to throw the race card.
We don't care about winning, because now why are you playing with one of the chances that I have in my career, one of those years where you're playing, you fire an offensive coordinator, you fire a head coach, and now you're bringing this guy from TV. I'm speaking as a player. If I was a current player, this guy doesn't know us.
You played in a different era, buddy. You played in an era with Bill Belichick. You never had to go through this stuff. This is all hypothetical crap, but go on.
All right? Okay, he was a consultant. Yes, he did all that, but he's never been a head coach. So as a former player, if I was a current player in that locker room, I'm going independent contractor mode. Okay? It's just about me, and I'm making sure.
Let's start with a little crepe as an effort.
So this is what the bonus that Jeff Saturday gets. Now, again, he came out against Peyton Manning and said, I don't accept his apology because Peyton Manning railed him as well, which was his quarterback. He talked some woke shit against him. And this is the prize that you get for bowing down and saying, you know what, I don't give a shit that you just ran my name through the mud. You talk shit about me all season. You get a spot on one of the weakest shows, Greenberg right there, Greeny, that fucker in the morning for ESPN. You get a spot on Get Up. What a great name to a fucked up, boring-ass show with terrible takes. You get that. Working with a guy who literally trashed your ass last season, and you get to pat pancakes and give pancakes to those who made blocks. So congratulations, Jeff Saturday, because, again, the very people you should be flipping off and saying fuck you and not respecting them, starting your own podcast, doing your own thing, trying to restore your own credibility because they ran you through the mud. No, you bent over. You should have took a job with the Colts as a coordinator. Even now, they probably would have offered it to you, or could have stayed as a consultant. But no, you bent over and you took it, and you deserve stupid, embarrassing segments like this.
Let's go. Hey, the most athletic offensive guard in the game. Record right here. Watch him drive. Look at him. He ain't done. Keep taking him. Take him to the heated bench. I see you, Patrick. That's a little unfair because nobody hit the ground, which I don't like. But check him out. Look at the body to body. Taking that dude to the sideline.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So congratulations, Jeff Saturday. You've won absolutely nothing. And Antonio Pearce, congratulations for having a phenomenal end of the season. Now you've got the likes of Jim Harbaugh trying to coach up the Chargers, which is going to be interesting because you have two shit owners in Mark Davis and the Spanos family. Who's going to actually spend, because it shocked the hell out of me that they got Harbaugh. Harbaugh's going to make, a great meal out of chicken shit there in San Diego, or L.A., I'm sorry, the weak-ass L.A. Chargers. But they're going to turn into a team. And depending on who Denver gets at quarterback, you got Sean Payton right there. And then you've got the big walrus, Andy Reid, and maybe the Super Bowl champions back-to-back this year, the Kansas City Chiefs, who I'm going for to win the Super Bowl. But with that being said, Antonio Pearce has got his work cut out for him, but he ain't scared. And I'll give him that. He's a breath of fresh air to the NFL. So if you've stayed through the video this long, I'm just telling you right now, I love Antonio Pearce as the Raiders coach. I think they made the right hire. Was Jeff Saturday in the long run the right hire for the Colts? Absolutely not. He gave you his shot, and he sucked. And I'm glad he's on a washed-up, useless show on ESPN that nobody watches. However, I just made this video because I don't like the hypocrisy. I don't like the fair shake, or at least the fact that they gave him a job when Antonio Pearce had the same amount of credentials.
Welcome to the Unfiltered Sports Network, where we believe in keeping it real and telling it like it is. No more are the days of sugarcoating or ESPN-style politically correct takes. No. This is the place where real sports fans gather to talk about the stuff that truly matters. From the latest headlines, transactions, to controversial news, we've got you covered. Join us as we dive into the unfiltered world of sports, where passion meets authenticity. Hit that like and subscribe button for more raw, honest, and uncensored discussions that will leave you craving for more. This is the Unfiltered Sports Network, where real sports fans talk about real shit.